Alright, so soon after the last sortie, we are now back in the briefing room for another mission. Going into Mission 10 of the Georgian War. So, current situation, after we landed at 0900, the Georgian government released an official figure of Georgian casualties. 45 soldiers and 47 civilians have lost their lives in the fighting and bombardments to date. At 1200, a second statement indicated that 20,000 to 25,000 people from Shamvali and Gori were forced to flee the region due to Russian attacks. These citizens have effectively become internally displaced persons. By midday in South Ossetia, Russian forces successfully constructed a makeshift helipad to the west of Java, near the village of Ugardanta. Attack and transport helicopters from the 487th Helicopter Regiment from Budanovsk began deploying to the region. In addition, a field hospital was erected near the helipad. By 1400, the last units of the Georgian army had withdrawn from South Ossetia and crossed back into Georgia. Some of the units began construction on makeshift fortifications along the administrative boundary line. However, most positioned themselves in villages between Shamvali and Gori. Elements of the National Guard fled Gori in panic, and the line of command and communications was severely disrupted, preventing organized action. Artillery exchanges continue while Russian air raids target forces near the ABL as well as deep inside Georgian territory. So for our objective on this sortie, the transfer of assault helicopters to makeshift landing pad near Java is a very worrying development. We must stop further helicopters from deploying to the region at all costs. Dodge 1 flight will fly to Waypoint 3 and establish contact with Magic and Rogue 4 for updates on position of enemy helicopters. Dodge 1 flight will then anchor over Gori at Waypoint 4 and await further instructions from the AMC. Clearance to enter South Ossetia must be obtained from AMC. ROE will be weapons hold until authorized. Alright, let's jump right into this op board 060, current as of 10:15 local. After entering South Ossetia, Russian forces have begun construction of a makeshift helipad near the village of Java. According to GIS, the Russians are planning to transfer approximately 10 to 12 attack helicopters to the region. For enemy forces, a large number of Mi-24 and Ka-50 helicopters, a suspected total of 12 aircraft. Might have possible MiG-29s and Su-27 covers. For friendly forces, we'll have AWACS in the air. Dodge 1 flight will anchor over Gori as enemy helicopters enter Georgian airspace. Dodge 1 flight will intercept and attempt to force them to turn back. Dodge 1 will coordinate with Magic and Rogue 4, which will be the Georgian ground radar station. Alright, Commander's intent is to destroy or otherwise restrict the number of enemy attack helicopters and minimize the cast and strike capabilities of Russian forces available in theater. The Con-Op, Dodge 01, will proceed to Waypoint 3, check in with Magic and Rogue, and then continue to Waypoint 4, which is Gori, and anchor there awaiting further instructions. AMC for the mission will be Magic, on board the E3A, ground control will be Rogue 4. ROE, weapons hold unless instructed otherwise by Magic and Rogue 4. Kutaisi Air Base continues to be our home base, Kabaletti will be the divert base. Weapon loadouts will include 6 AIM-120s, 2 AIM-9s, 2 fuel tanks, 120 chaff, 60 flare. Higher Command Wizard, AMC and Magic, ground control Rogue 4, flight lead Dodge 1-1. Alright, briefing notes. Per the usual, ROE weapons hold unless instructed otherwise. Yes, we have heard about that. Do not enter South Ossetia unless instructed by AMC. And we're going to anchor over Gori and wait further instructions. Service ceiling today is going to be 25,000 from Waypoint 3 to Waypoint 4. Okay, let's go ahead and get out to the aircraft.
Dodge 1, this is Wizard. Today you will be flying an intercept mission. Much like earlier in the morning, your targets will mostly be enemy helicopters. GIS has received information about the transfer of a large force of enemy helos to Java and South Ossetia. We believe that at least 10 Mi-24s and Ka-50s will be flown and stationed there, which would significantly increase the enemy's ability to operate over Georgia proper. After takeoff, check in with Magic and Rogue 4 at Waypoint 3. They will both be coordinating your actions with Magic having the final authority. Your primary objective is to force any helo packages entering the area to withdraw. Use of force is authorized if necessary. Once they retreat, return to Waypoint 4, your anchor point for this mission. Any questions?
Dodge 1-1 copies all. One question, any intel on enemy SAMs over Shamvali and South Ossetia?
According to reports, enemy forces are still pouring into the AO. The Russians do not appear to have set up any significant air defenses yet. However, we have detected SA-8 launchers in Shamvali and at least one SA-15 north of the Roki Tunnel entrance on the Russian side. DSU-23s are widely present among the Russian forces on the ground. Many of the Russian units have manpads at their disposal, so keep to the fragged hard deck limitations.
Dodge 1-1, roger, thank you. 2, did you copy all that? Affirm, I'm good to go.
Utasi, Dodge, 1-1. Holding short of active, ready to roll.
Dodge 1-1. Kataisi, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.77. 2-1, standard takeoff, flaps extended, 1/2 aft stick at 120, hold 10 degrees after rotation, climb to 1500 at waypoint 1. We will contact Wizard once we reach CRP North at waypoint 2 and climb to Angels 25 at waypoint 3. Once there, we will contact Magic and Rogue 4. All copy. 2 is ready to roll. Dodge 1 flight is over CRP North and leaving your CTR climbing to Angels 25.
Dodge 1, Wizard copies. Continue. Push channel 3 and contact Magic. Good hunting.
Pushing channel 3, we will be with Magic shortly. Thank you, ma'am. Dodge 1 out. Good hunting. Shit. I don't really like going after kilos. They're too hard to find with the radar. Just remember to adjust your antenna elevation as the targets get closer when scanning from above them. If we can get the AMRAAMs pointed in the right direction at launch, they should take care of the rest themselves. I've never even seen KA-50s before, not to mention fighting them. They have some air-to-air capabilities, right? Yes, the gun and their anti-tank missiles. Anti-tank missiles? Seriously? You heard right, too. Their AT-16 missiles are capable of hitting air targets flying at speeds up to 430 knots. They rifle laser beam, but aren't really effective beyond 2 miles. Okay, so how do you defend against their laser-guided missiles? Stay fast and try to attack from above and behind the target. The Schwal, their targeting sensor, is located on the nose of the aircraft near the bottom. If he can't see you with this, he can't employ missiles or cannon. Yeah, I think I still prefer the Fulcrums. It's easier to stay out of SAM range when you're dealing with fast movers. Make sure you save a couple AIM-120s, you might get your wish. One good thing about this theater, since Georgians are practically never flying, there are almost no restrictions for BVR combat. Yeah, noticed that. Magic, Dodge 1 flight, 2 times F-15C, checking in as fragged, pulls 289 for 42. Dodge 1-1, Magic, anchor your current position and stand by for update on your primary. Dodge 1 holding, ready to copy. Dodge, contact Gorilla Bulls 357 for 59, going south, slow. Dodge 1 copies multiple unknown contacts, Bulls 357 for 59, request estimate on enemy numbers. Unable to determine at this time. Rogue 4 may have more data. Wait 1. Dodge 1 standing by. This is Rogue 4, homecoming. Rogue 4, Dodge 1, we read you 555. Request estimate on enemy helicopters coming from the north. Dodge 4, we had contacts with 12 bandits, infantry groups, Heinz and Hollows. south of Session. If they keep their current speed, we expect them to reach the Rocky Tunnel entrance in 15 minutes. Rogue 4, Dodge 1-1 copies. Bandits expected to enter the AO in 15 mics. Break. Magic, request orders. Dodge 1-1, Magic, stay waypoint forward, anchor over Dory. Keep Angels 2-5, your weapons hold until bandits leave Russian airspace. Dodge 1-1 copies, pushing to waypoint 4, weapons hold. According to our briefing, the Georgians think that these bandits are headed towards Java. Let's not get too close or too low. I'm betting they have plenty of these shilkas and manpads we're hearing about down there. Manpads? When have you ever been worried about them? We usually fly way above their webs. Strike Eagles maybe, but not us. Yeah, I know. Not a pound for air to ground. Still, we'll have a harder time tracking those helos at high altitudes. When called to push, let's pass over Java at Angels 2-5 and descend further northeast if necessary. If we're lucky, we might catch them over the mountains. Be careful, the Russian border is only 10 miles north from the village. 2 copy. Java. Sounds like a planet from Star Wars. You're flying a starship, so it all adds up. Rogue 4, Dodge 1-1, we've got mud spikes north of our position, SA-8. Please confirm their maximum engagement range and altitude. Dodge 1-1, Rogue 4, 5 miles, altitude 16,000 feet. Dodge 1-1 copies, thank you. They're in Shin Valley, we need to be careful when passing over that area. Dodge 1 flight over Bullseye, waiting orders. Dodge 1, copy, wait 1. Group 2 flankers, Bulls 11076, Angels 3, climbing to 5. Dodge copies, morning color. Morning yellow. Dodge copies, morning yellow. How much time do we have? Dodge 21. Ah shit, we got into trouble. Stand by. Roger, standing by. 2, keep your eyes on those flankers. Copy. And it seems Russians just got their AWACS in the air. 00848 at Brady. Magic, what's your status? Dodge, Magic, Memphis here, send your problem, wait to RTP. I'm transferring you to Rogue 4 for command control. We're going midnight. Anchor over Dory. Dodge 1 copies, contacting Rogue 4. Break. Rogue 4, Dodge 1 flight. Magic is RTB. We will need your assistance. Dodge 1, Rogue 4, copy. Stand by for update. Dodge copies, request update on primary. Rogue 4 unable, we are getting too much ground interference. Dodge 1, roger. 2, stand by, I'm contacting Wizard for orders. Roger. Wizard Dodge 1-1, Magic is RTB and Rogue 4 has degraded capability. We have a group of bandits inbound on our position with AWACS support. Request orders.
Dodge 1, Wizard copies all. Use your own discretion. You may continue or RTB. If you choose is to remain on station. Hold your position over Gory until bandits enter South Ossetia.
Dodge 1-1, Rock 4, 2 flankers, Bulls 008-460, hot, tracking southeast, Angels 1-7. Wizard Dodge 1-1, continuing with our mission.
Wizard copies. Good luck. Hold over Gory until bandits enter South Ossetia. Rogue 4 will contact you with additional updates.
Right, 10 o'clock. Dodge 1-1, Rock 4, 2 flankers, Bulls 006454, hot, Angels 1-9. Dodge 1-1, Rock 4, enemy flankers, Bulls 002447. They have increased their speed. Warning red. Rogue 4, Dodge 1-1 copies, warning red. Ready to engage. Dodge 1-1, clear to engage.
Flight, engage bandits.
Roger.
Flight, music on.
ECM on. Rogue 4, Dodge 1
Flight,
committed.
nose is warm.
2, go nose hot. 2, radar on. 2, nose is hot. 2, contact bearing 359.50. Dodge 1, Rogue 4, contact enemy helos. Bulls 348-437, slow, moving south. 2, engaging bandit. 2, engaging bandit. Yeah, copy that. Contact bearing 348.40.
Flight, engage my target.
2, roger. 2, engaging bandit.
Great success!
Route 4, Dodge 1-1, what are our orders? Dodge 1-1, coming to incoming group. ROE, weapons free, Lieutenant engage any helos, dead bug out. Dodge 1 flight is searching, ROE copy. Dodge 1, Rock 4, continue. Okay, one man is down. Notified, this is Rogue 4. You have entered Russian
Radar failure.
Mother!
ACS failure. Radar failure.
3 bandits destroyed.
ACS failure.
Engaging bandit.
Radar failure. ACS failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure. ACS failure. Failure. Radar failure.
It's Flash Bandit.
ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure.
Flash 1.
Radar failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure.
Dodge 1-1, Rogue Farm.
Radar failure.
Good job.
ACS failure. Radar failure.
4 is right. Look at them marks.
ACS failure.
Dodge 1 copies all disengaging. Pushing
Radar
to
failure.
Light, going up.
ACS failure.
2. Negative.
Radar failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure.
That'll make them
Radar
think twice
failure.
before they send their helicopters our way again.
ACS
Look at the
failure.
damage. How much is one Hulkum worth? 15 million? $20
Radar
million?
failure. ACS failure.
I've got no idea, too, but I'm sure we've strained the Russian military budget a
Radar
little
failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. ACS failure.
Rogue, this is Dodge 1-1.
Radar failure.
Request RTB.
ACS failure. Radar failure.
Rogue 4, you cleared to RTB.
ACS failure.
Cleared for visual. Contact tower.
Utasi, Dodge, 1-1. Onshore final, ready to land, active runway.
Dodge 1-1. Takeoff. Cleared to land. Runway 26. Wind 249.